What's going on, everybody? You're listening to the Glow Up Podcast. We are here in Seattle, Washington, a part of the Soundcasting Network. I'm Miss Casey Carter.
I'm Naomi Raven.
She's
And I
back,
am
y'all.
Kendra Hill. I'm the guest, and I'm
Come
that
on. Oh, she
Yes.
is in it. Kendra,
I'll introduce myself.
you are the only person on
Yes.
this show to ever do that.
Really?
I love it. Yes.
All good.
I love it.
Yes.
Coming in with a bang. I love it, you guys. We're so excited. We're going to be talking to Kendra Hill. Let me remind y'all to rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Follow us at the Glow Up Cast. Don't forget to sign up for that Glow Gang Spotlight. We're so excited to just be we're committed to highlighting small businesses. So make sure to sign up for that. That's in our link in bio.
Yes, and don't miss out on any of those spotlights by signing up for our email list. It introduces you to some exclusive Glow Gang discounts as well. So snag your deal. And don't forget that we are on YouTube. Stop just listening to us in the car, but put it on your TV, put it on your computer, and rock with us.
Yes, take a look at us.
Yes.
Shout out to our girl Ari Hale of Allergic to Hourly. Last week's episode was really insightful. It was inspiring because just hearing her story of how she never really saw herself doing what she's doing now and how it just seemed to kind of roll to her. It's a very great story. Make sure to check her out.
Yes, and our queen introduced herself, Kendra Hill. We are super excited to talk to her. She runs a consulting firm with a revolutionized approach to helping companies and creatives grow in revenue and visibility. So she is going to put you on so you can glow up.
Yes. I'm excited.
Yes.
It is time. The world is opening up. It is time for us to really step into it. So I'm excited. But let's hop into these weekly wins and lessons. Naomi, we missed you. It's been a while.
Back. I know.
Yes, we took some breaks, and then Naomi was doing her own breaks, and she is back. So we'll let you kick things off with your weekly winner lesson.
Yes, my win. It was talked about a little bit last week. But announcing my pregnancy to the world is a win in my books. Thank you, because I don't want to say it was a weight keeping it a secret, but it was so uplifting to be able to share it. And then just the positive feedback and all the love that I got. It was so overwhelming and it felt amazing. So it was a definite win in my book.
Y'all, she's been holding it in, and I'm just so happy for her. And again, both Naomi and I have shared this. We both want to be moms, and I'm just so happy for her and so excited for our little Glow Gang. I know, girl. Our little Glow Gang baby.
Yes.
Coming 2021. All right. Let's see here. My weekly win this week. So it's kind of like piggybacking off of what I said last week. I just been feeling creatively out of it. But last week was just out of it, period. I was very snappy and just everything bothered me. And for some reason on Thursday, I woke up and I didn't feel that. And the thing is that I couldn't identify what was going on. It was just weird and the energy was off. And then on Thursday, I was like, do I still feel this way? And I always check my temperature as far as my attitude when I'm driving to work, because that's the time you got your morning started by yourself. Let's see what happens. And I was feeling hella good. So that's my win, is that I got out of whatever the hell that was. Maybe it was retrograde leaving. I don't know. I don't know what to put it on. I just am so grateful because I feel so good. I feel great. And I knew other people out there who were feeling the same weirdness. So I'm just happy that I'm feeling better. So that's
nothing but joy. Yes.
How about you, Kendra? Do you have any weekly wins or lessons?
I think mine's a win and a lesson. So it's the same thing. It's rest. I actually got to rest this week, which is not common for me. I normally don't get to rest. I actually have only been at home, I think 5 days this month, because I've just been booked and speaking and traveling. So this week, I got back Tuesday and I was just I'm going to take the next couple of days to rest. And I think that's the win. But the lesson part of this resting thing is I was able to really spend time on God-given vision and what does God want me to do for the next 6 months? And like, what does the rest of the year look like for me and for my business? And like, what's the next step and the next goal? So like just the luxury, because it is a luxury to rest at this point for me, like the luxury to be able to rest and like reconnect on like, what's the vision was like, great.
I love that you said that it's a luxury because not everyone can take the time to rest. So I'm happy that you got to do that. Come on, booked and busy. I love it. Let's hop into the vibe check. Is there anything you're currently vibing with right now?
Oh, for sure. I am obsessed. And when I say obsessed, I mean obsessed with the movie Cruella. I have seen it 5 times.
Oh my
I
God.
am obsessed. I mean, I do have the low-key Dalmatian thing happening back here, but I am obsessed with the movie. Cruella de Vil has always been my favorite villain. And I was like, this girl has trauma. Like, there's a reason why she's like this. And so when Disney was like, we're coming out with Cruella, I was like, bruh, I'm about to watch it. I've seen it 5 times. The first time was literally just like to watch the story and like take it in. Then the next time was like, let me get into this fashion because the fashion in the movie is chef's kiss. It is fire. So I'm like totally obsessed with Cruella right now.
I agree 100%, co-sign all that. I went to that movie again. It's Disney. You're like, I mean, I didn't like love her as much as you did, but I'm like, I'm just gonna go watch this first movie since the panty. I'm like, whatever. I was so impressed by the story. I was just like blown away as a woman. I was like, this is a dope ass story. Like, is this for kids? I'm not sure, but this is a really good movie. And that was all I kept thinking. I was like, I'm very impressed by this movie. It's such a good one. So everyone
It did
should
feel
check it
really
out.
grown up.
Yeah,
it felt very grown up. Like, this is for adults.
Yeah, this is for us. I think this is for like the people who watched 101 Dalmatians when we were kids. But definitely go check that out. Naomi, what are you vibing with?
Yes, I have hopped on the social media train of everybody talking about this. I've been watching Manifest on Netflix. I've been binge watching it. It's really good. The people aren't lying. So if you haven't tapped into it, you need to. I feel like I haven't been able to stay like checked into a show for a while, and this has my attention. Yes.
I've been seeing that on everyone's talking about it. I'm like, okay, gosh. See, I'm just in a mode of like, you guys know, I love my little dumbass reality shows. And it's because those are the type of shows you can just put on when you're doing hella shit around the house. And I'm like, man, I have to concentrate. Like, it's so hard, but I do need to train my brain because I be all over the place. So,
and I swear the show is telling you something.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, they trying to let us in on something.
Okay. I like it. I'm excited. Definitely, be in the house all weekend. So I'm going to be checking that out. But what I'm vibing with is this is kind of funny because it's weird. So Lil Dicky, he has a show called Dave, and I'm sure it was something I was vibing with the first season. So it's back. It's very weird. It is weird as hell. It's cringy. It's like Atlanta, but white people. So like times 10 cringiness and weirdness.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah. And you know what? It is like, I don't think a lot of people will be able to watch it after what happened to this last episode. It was fucking wild.
Oh, no.
But I like it. I like it. It's this weirdness in me. There's little hidden messages in there. It was this whole thing about male privilege and how guys can have bromances. White men, they can have that, but black men can't have that. And that's just white privilege right there. And it was just like they took this really weird, funny situation and taught us all a damn lesson. So I like little things like that. So it's not for everybody, I will say that, but that is what I'm vibing with this week. It's a very interesting show. All right, you guys, we're going to hop into this quick break and we will be back with Kendra. All right, you guys, we are back with Kendra Hill. We're so excited to get to know you. But first, tell us all about who young Kendra Hill was. Who was young Kendra?
Oh, my God. I should have told my publicist, I need a list of questions before we get on here. Like, how young we talking?
When you started finding out who you were you always about that, like about your business and like staying on top of everything and wanting generational wealth for you and your family?
I had a really broken childhood, like
Okay.
bad. People have their stories and, no one's is worse or better than anybody else's. But like I started off with like really bad childhood molestation and rape for like 2 years, starting at the age of 8. My grandmother died. And before she even got buried, my grandfather started raping me. So I was 8 years old and I already felt like my whole like world had ended because my grandmother had died. Like she was like, that was my girl. My mom had me at 16. So she was like still in school. She was working and like my grandmother was like raising me. So at that point was when I knew like, oh, being here is not my life. Okay. Like I am not going to live in San Antonio. I am not going to be here. I'm not going to be like anybody else. I'm going to go like make a life for myself. And so I started like bouncing around, living here, living there, that kind of thing as a child because of the situation. In high school, I think was when I really knew like I'm supposed to be somebody and I'm supposed to be somebody important. And it became very obvious to me. I was like really, really popular, but like crazy smart. And everybody liked me. The principals, the teachers, the students, parents, everybody liked me. And I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be doing something with this. I have a lot of personality and I'm supposed to do something with this. I didn't know that had anything to do with like business or money until my freshman year of college. I went to Howard, HU, and my freshman year, I started dating a guy who owned a business. And I was like, oh, I can help you do this. This is nothing. Like everything I know I learned in church, boo. Like I can I can put together anything, what you need. And as I was like helping him, I started realizing that like, oh, like girl, you can do this. Like you're supposed to be doing something in business. But I was still trying to stay on my normal path. Like my undergraduate degrees in political science. So I was going to be a politician. And I was working on Capitol Hill my freshman and sophomore year full time. And I was like, okay, I'm the youngest person on Capitol Hill. This is about to be my life. And then like that business bug was biting me so heavy. So I didn't know it was generational wealth, but I definitely knew I was supposed to be doing something in business.
Yes. And when you got there and you learned like the formula to build your success, to build your empire, why share it with people? Why not just propel yourself? And what gave you the courage to share it with others? Because it's a lot sometimes.
I've been in this game for 10 years. So that's the first thing is like, I'm not new to this. And I do believe that there are some parts of the game that are supposed to be told and not sold.
Come on.
That's the first thing. There's a lot of things I tell people for free. At the same time, I'm gonna collect my coin and collect my bag when I feel like it's necessary. I think that part of the problem is, especially in the Black community, the people who have money do not share how they made money. Ever. You're never going to see someone as big as an Oprah or a Tyler Perry, or even someone as small as a Mia Ray, really tell you how I really made money and how like this applies to you. And so for me, it's like, I'm not going to sit back and watch Black people and people of color continue this poverty mindset, these poverty cycles. It's not right. And it's not fair. Because our white counterparts have had people teach them how to make money. Normally people in their own families. And if not, they have a friend of the family who's wealthy. They know someone who's an investment banker. They know someone who's a financial advisor. And like no one teaches us the truth about like making money, generating money, creating wealth, and really, scaling and growing your business.
Yes, come on.
So your whole mission, everything is just so beautiful. Can you talk about some of the ways that you are helping and teaching others all the things that you learned you taught yourself?
Yeah, for sure. Well, when I first started this particular business, Kendra Scale My Business, I started January 5th, 2020. I did not want to get back into the consulting space. I had taken a 2-year hiatus and become a fashion stylist. I loved it. Had a great time. I love the industry. I love clothes and I love style and I love beauty. And so I was loving what I was doing. And like, I kept feeling this pull to go back into consulting. I fought it, ended up like God legit exiled me for 3 months to Mexico to break my will. Like, you're going back into consulting. There is a purpose here. There's a reason. I came back from the 3 months in Mexico. I did 2 weeks at home in Dallas with my mother for the holiday. And I was getting ready to go to Canada for my first consulting gig in 2 years. And somebody called me and said, like, they were praying for me and God said I was going to be a millionaire next year. And I was like, oh, okay. Then somebody else called me and said, you're going to make $2 million next year. And I was like, okay,
these are just random messages that are just coming
random
to you.
messages. Actually, my mentees, people I was mentoring years before, they were calling me out the blue, like, hey, I was praying for you. And like, God said you're going to be a millionaire next year. And then the next one was like, God said you're making $2 million next year. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just starting out as a consultant again. I don't even have a book of business. Don't even have a website. Not sure I'm gonna make $1 million, but cool. But like, for me, I do understand, like, faith is a big part of what I do. So I understand that, like, just because I don't see it doesn't mean it's not what it is. It's the truth. Yep. So start the business, January 2020, July 24th, 2020, hit $1 million. And I'm like, oh my God. In 10 years of being an entrepreneur, I've never, like, I've never just like that fast had something happen. Like, I've made over $1 million before, but not in 1 year, you know, not just like, boom, here we are. So I was only working with corporations at the time. In July, I started working with creators as well, like big creators. And then at that point, I was like, I've made $1 million. I'm going to commit myself to helping small business owners. So I just started putting out freebies. Really, like, once the pandemic hit, actually, I put out the first like big freebie with it was a collaboration between me and a few other business owners. But I was just like, I'm just going to start putting out real free, like, thick freebies, because people be putting out these little freebies. They be like one page, really doesn't tell you anything. And really, the point of their freebie is to get you to buy whatever they're trying to sell.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't need a lead magnet. I have a mailing list of over 6,000 people. I don't need a lead magnet. What I need is for people to be able to pivot themselves during the pandemic. So I started putting out really thick, and they're all still up there. I have tons of freebies. I have freebies on mentorship, how to pivot your business, how to get your social media together, like all of like the free gems that no one is going to tell you because people are charging you for it. And I'm not opposed to that. By all means, like, do what works for you. I don't feel like that's what I was called to do. I feel like I've made my money off of corporations. I've made my money off of, big creators. Like, my biggest creator client has 10 million subscribers on YouTube. So like, I don't need your small business money to teach you how to do some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first thing.
You're so amazing. You know, first of all, women, and particularly Black women, you guys are just so incredible because you do what's needed. You're providing this. Like, you're like, I got it and I got y'all. And I'm gonna give it to you guys. Like, it's so, and it's beautiful and inspiring to see. Like, it's incredible.
Thank you. Yeah. And now I'm teaching classes that are really inexpensive. Like, I'm literally teaching classes that are $97. Like, if you can invest $97, you can come to a class with me, you know, and I will teach you literally how to make sales for real. Like, I'll give you my pitch templates on how to make sales. I'll teach you how to find the right contact to make sales. Like, I don't think that I have to charge them and tax them. It's almost like, this is like my philanthropy, you know, it's like, this is my philanthropic work, is helping small business owners, people who, you know, don't know how they're going to clear $2,000 a month. Well, maybe let me show you, you can actually clear $20,000 a month. And let me teach you how, you know, like, and then I have a community too called the Millie Club. It's $37 a month. And I touch base with the people in the Millie Club twice a week. We have weekly entrepreneurial Bible studies where we study the Bible together concerning what God says about business. And then we do like work sessions throughout the week. We do monthly Q&As. I teach a specific lesson that could only be seen in the Millie Club. So like, there's a lot of like small ways. You know, I do feel like people do kind of need to financially invest in some way, but $37 is not killing you. You know, it's like $37 is like, you get to talk to me and ask me anything twice a week. You know, so.
Right. Girl, we talked about how it's hot in our houses right now, but you're giving me goosebumps. Like, what you're doing, it really is. It's beautiful. It's powerful. And a big part of your business is helping brands and businesses with their brand visibility. So the ever-changing algorithms piss me off and discourage me. How do you encourage people to stay motivated to continue pushing themselves on the platform so that their brands can grow when it can get a little frustrating?
I think the biggest thing is like, we hear this all the time, but it's the truth. Consistency. I tell people, be consistent. I don't care what the algorithm is doing. Even right now, like, it's not just Instagram's algorithm. YouTube's algorithm is jacked up right now too. So it's like, you can't stop. If you're posting twice a week, you got to keep posting twice a week. If you're posting every day on Instagram, you got to keep posting every day on Instagram. Don't worry about likes. Don't worry about views. Worry about keeping your brand consistent. Because at the end of the day, everyone's like big goal is like, if you love, I don't know, CoverGirl. If CoverGirl is like your favorite drugstore makeup brand and you want to work with them, CoverGirl's not looking at your likes. CoverGirl is looking at like, what messaging are you consistently putting out? How are people, do you have a solid rock of people who are rocking with you, period? And it's not about those numbers. Like, there are people who have 1,500 followers that have real brand deals. I just had a watch company pay me $500 and give me a $200 watch to literally talk about a watch on YouTube. I haven't posted on YouTube in 9 months. But what I posted was so good, and my Instagram content and my engagement is so good. They don't care about that. So like, the biggest thing is like, be consistent and don't do it for the likes. Do it because you love it.
Yes.
Like, I make posts, and sometimes I have posts that hit 300 likes. Sometimes I have posts that hit 20 likes. And I don't get discouraged about that. I put out good content. If you like it, you like it. If it's good for you, it's good for you. And if it's not, or you never see it, it is what it is. But I can't be concerned about what some white men are coding somewhere in some room. I can't let them dictate to me how I'm going to run my business. I can't let them dictate to me how I'm going to show up for my community. Of course, we all want growth, and of course, we all want reach. But what about those people who, like I said, are your foundation, your bedrock followers, the people who are going to rock with you, whether you're, doing a podcast on TV or working at McDonald's? Like, those are the people I'm posting for. I'm posting for the people that rocked with me when I was doing full-time ministry, when I was a stylist, back to consulting. Like, I'm not worried necessarily about growth. Growth comes when you're consistent. So
yes.
Whew. With consistency, it also is about like the messaging. I mean, I'm sure that video that you put out with the watch, like, it was probably an incredible story that you're telling. And I think that's one important thing a lot of people forget when they start promoting themselves. They just like put things out and hope it sticks versus like telling this story. Is that something that you see lack in a lot of people's marketing and promotions?
Yeah, storytelling is an art. And a lot of times I meet with people, whether it's in like, I have a year-long mentorship, like whether it's in that program or just with one-off conversations, or people who want to work with me and I like go do my snooping and do my analysis on them in advance. You often see everyone wants to like post their picture and a Drake line. And it's 2021. We're not doing that anymore. That's 2016, that 2018 right energy. It's like,
that is.
You can't post that one lyric. Yeah, you can't post a picture of yourself looking fire and that one lyric and think that that's it. You have to get real about telling a story. So all of my captions and the captions of my clients, like I tell them all the time, like, y'all better tell these people something that they need to hear. Because if you don't take them on the journey with you, the point of social media really right now is taking a person on the journey with you, whether you're already popping or you're trying to pop. People want to be on that ride. People want to be able to say, I knew Naomi when. I knew Naomi when she only had 1,200 followers or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Like, people want to be able to say that, and people get very invested. The reason you have these people on the internet who have become really popular, most of them are, it's because they started from the bottom. People watch them. You look at a person like Supa. We all remember her from Vine. Some of us have been following her since back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't take Crown Case for her to become successful in our eyes. We already knew who she was. She was funny AF, you know what I'm saying? And like, she was just chill. She's maintained that chill personality, but she's taken us on a journey with her storytelling in sharing everything that she shared on the internet. So yeah, people have missed the art of storytelling, but if you can take people on a journey, they'll stick with you. They will be your biggest supporters. That's how you turn people into fans.
What is your like one tip for people who are like, I don't know how to tell my story, or I'm scared to be vulnerable, I don't want to share too much? Like, what is your advice or tip for that?
Do you really want it?
Hmm.
Do you really want my advice?
Oh, yes.
The
I was
advice
like,
is,
even that sentence is like the question I would ask somebody.
do you really want it?
Do you want it or not?
Do it. No.
Yes, we
Because
want the advice.
the tip is hard and it's deep. You have to heal. When you do the work internally and you heal, transparency becomes easy. Vulnerability becomes easy. When I healed, I was able to tell people I used to be a drug dealer. I used to run an escort service. Before I healed, that was a secret.
Yes.
And no one needed to know. And I didn't want to talk about it. And I didn't want to talk about my childhood trauma. And I didn't want to talk about being, a survivor of rape as a child. I didn't want to talk about coming up in a very broken home. I didn't want to talk about when you heal, it becomes easy to be transparent about anything. So like people can ask me anything and I'm going to answer it. I share my life on the internet. Every picture is not me perfectly polished. I don't always put on makeup and do my hair and get my life together for a podcast. Like sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. You're going to get whatever energy I got that week. And the fact of the matter is like, that's just my truth. And I'm only able to share my truth because I've healed. And so like, if you want to be honest and you want to be vulnerable and you want to grow, you have to heal first. My following went from 1,800 people to whatever it is now. Like, I think it's like 4,000 or something like that. But that's just this year because I decided I was going to start being honest and like telling my truth and like talking about bad days I've had. I remember one day I had ordered some merchandise and the mugs came out jacked up 3 times. I told them, y'all, these mugs is jacked up. It's pushing back my production. I'm about to lose these boxes because these boxes have dates on them. That's a lesson for me. I've never done products for real. So it's like, let me not put the year on the boxes, so I can get my whole $500 worth in my inventory. Like I'm going to constantly share my losses too, but I can only do that because I'm healed.
Yes, that's good. That's powerful again. And I think it's beautiful that so many people are stepping into entrepreneurship and they're being successful in it. But I think there are a lot of people too that are jumping on the train because they think it's a get quick rich scheme. And you have a post that states it's a long game to making good, honest money. #pace yourself. Can you please speak to this and where people are going wrong? Because we need to be making good, honest money and really be successful in our journey of entrepreneurship.
It's funny because this goes into the drug dealing thing. When I was a drug dealer and I was running an escort service, this was years ago, so statute of limitations is gone, bro. Anyway, when I was doing that, I was making $10,000 a week.
Whew.
So like $40,000 to $50,000 a month, right? That sounds great. I make $250,000 a month now. So it's like, there's something to be said about money that comes fast, you lose fast too. I don't have a single thing, not a single item, not one item that I bought with drug money still. I don't even know where it went. I have no idea. It's not because I'm like, oh, I purged myself of the drug. No, I don't know where it is because that money is gone. You know what I'm saying? That money is gone. That time period is gone. I can tell you everything in my house, in this house and the other house I own, like everything in my homes, this was bought with honest money. And so what happens is we do try to jump in and we're like, oh, I can start a business real quick and make some quick money. You cannot start a business real quick and make some quick money. It doesn't work like that. It took me 9 years to make $1 million in a year. Well, it was in less than a year, but still, like it took me 9 years to do that. So that's not just my experience. I have an MBA. Like I went to school to do business ultimately. Like my secondary degree was for business. So it's like, when you think about it, that's a long road. That's not like I didn't get rich quick in business. It wasn't like that. I think that what happens is people start and stop because they get discouraged. And it's easy to get discouraged. But what you have to understand is like sometimes you're in preparation season. And if you're in preparation season and like God or higher power, whatever you believe in, is trying to nudge you, the universe, whatever people be saying, it's trying to nudge you into another space. You have to be prepared for that space. There's something in your life, Naomi, that has happened that has prepared you to be a mother. You've had a culmination of life experiences, and now it's like, now is the time. So it's not just like your own life experience. I know, don't cry. It's not just like your own life experiences, but it's your life experiences and the right timing and pacing of your life. And sometimes we feel like that timing and pacing is not right, but like ultimately it is right. So like, I don't have natural children, and ultimately, I want to have kids too. But right now is obviously not the time. Obviously, right now the time is for me to get money. And that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's what season I'm in. But I had to go through a long preparation period. So it's easy to get discouraged. And it's easy to feel like, man, is this ever going to happen for me? But you have to, again, pace yourself.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is you have to go through preparation processes. You have to take the time to get where you need to be.
Yes.
You have no idea how much... I know Naomi feels it, but you have no idea how you're talking to me as well. Now outreach, like you're doing really well, you're popping, you're getting your money, all that stuff, but you still are doing things like outreach and getting on podcasts. Talk about the importance of maintaining promotions and marketing for yourself as a brand, even though like you're on. Because I think people get on and then they're like, all right, I'm good. I don't need to talk to nobody.
No. Well, first of all, that's arrogant AF. That's never been me, will never be me. I didn't hire a publicist until after I got popping. I didn't hire a publicist to get popping. I hired my publicist 4 months ago.
Oh, wow.
I didn't need publicity to get popping. I decided, okay, I'm popping. Now I have the bandwidth and the energy to actually show up at all these interviews and do all these things. And like, she emails me 2 or 3 things a week that I need to deal with, whether it's a podcast, a written interview, on the phone with a magazine interview, whatever the case may be. So like before, when I was struggling, how would I have had time? Now I have the time. And I think what happens is, like you said, people do feel like, oh, I'm popping, I don't need to do all that extra stuff. That extra stuff is also additional income. Every time I post a clip from me being on somebody's podcast, someone else books me. And for every 2 or 3 bookings on a podcast where I speak for free, somebody hires and pays. Like I said, I was at home 4 or 5 days this month. Like people hired me they flew me out. I was flew out multiple times and put up in nice 4-star hotels, transportation covered, food covered, this covered, that covered, plus my honorarium. Because people see me speaking. So like there is something there. But beyond that for me is like, if you've never heard of me and you don't know I have all these freebies, you don't know you can come get some free game from me. You don't know you can come and get some, cheap game from me. How else am I going to tell people that are outside of my bubble? Like it doesn't make sense to decide that you've made it. And so you're not going to put time into this kind of thing. This is important.
Girl, you're putting us on so much game. And so I got to ask you for just a little bit more. What are 3 tips that you would give us of getting our shit together?
Okay, here we go. First thing is you need to heal. I'm not going to harp on it because I already said it. First thing is you need to heal. The second thing is you need to really decide. First thing is you need to heal. The second thing is you need to really tap into your purpose. And I think a lot of times people struggle with purpose because they're trying to find it within themselves, and you can't. Your purpose is always about other people. Always about other people. Your purpose is not for you. And so whatever that purpose is, like my purpose is to align people with God's plan for their life. So whatever that purpose is, that's not inward facing. I'm aligned. It's not about me. This is about how can I help other people. But the third thing to get your ish together is to then figure out in this season right now, how am I supposed to walk in purpose? Because it shows up different ways in different seasons. People think, oh, my purpose is to be a consultant. No. My purpose is to help align people with God's plan. Right now it's through consulting. It has been through styling. it has been through being a brand manager. It's been through producing television. It's been different ways. So heal yourself so you can then figure out your external, who are you supposed to be helping purpose, and then figure out like, boom, how am I supposed to walk in this right now? Because when you do all of those things and you align, that's when the money comes. Money doesn't show up when you're all over the place. Mm-hmm. Money shows up when you're like in the right place at the right time, in the right alignment. So those are my 3 things.
Church. There we go. That's it. Preach. Kendra, you are amazing. You are inspiring, and I see the glow. I see the glow. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us and lace us.
Yeah.
What's coming up next for you? And also, if people want some freebies or want to work with you, let them know where they can find you.
Well, I'll start with the second half first. That's the easy one. You can find me at I am Kendra White Hill on Instagram. You can also go to my website, KendraScaleMyBusiness.com. What is next? This is interesting. I'm going to be transparent and vulnerable and open and honest, right? This week of me sitting in rest and being still, like the last few weeks, I could feel like you're about to open another division in business. Something's getting ready to happen. But that's scary. You know, it's scary because you don't, especially when you don't know what it is. I still am not 1000% sure of what it is, but this week of rest has given me an opportunity to sit still. So I think everyone's getting ready to see something that they never expected to come out of this business very, very soon.
Oh my gosh. Now I'm like, all right, we'll be sitting waiting for it, Kendra. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing what you did with us. I guess I didn't mean to tap in that much when I asked, but I really appreciate, and it's always inspiring to see other women be so vulnerable because it lets me be okay with sharing what I want to share as well. So thank you so much. You guys make sure to hop on all these opportunities she has and that she's blessing us all with. I know I'm about to be on some of that stuff this weekend. So join me and let's all glow up together. Make sure y'all to sign up for that Glow Gang Spotlight. That is in our link in bio, as well as our email list for exclusive discounts.
And don't forget to watch us on YouTube. This is an amazing interview to watch. It spoke to me. So you guys tap in so you can really feel what's going on.
Yes. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. Follow us at the Glow Up Cast, and we'll see y'all next week.